Hey everyone, welcome back to another Chris the Fish 03 video. In this one we got new turtles, new fish, new projects completed. Keep watching, you'll see what's going on. Alright, so before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, absolutely free, and hit the notification bell on the side as well so you'll know as and when I'm posting new videos. So with that being said, let's get on with it. Right, so before we get into the whole rehoming situation, I'm going to give you a quick update around the fish cave of a few changes that have already been made. First of all, being that we've got some more stenciling done, so I'm going to flip the camera around now and show you what we've got done with that. So as you've just seen in that other clip, obviously I've put some black lines around it now just to make it stand out a bit more. It's not like a professional job, but actually looks quite cool. That fish however looks a bit mongold, but hey, the rest of them ain't too bad. Then my mate Aaron, shout out, has also suggested putting like a reed on each side just to kind of box it in, give it that kind of style. And then we've also put some more fish in between the letters just scattered around. But what I'm not going to do is do the black lines around them like I did with that one. I'm just going to leave them as they are because they look pretty cool, to be fair, and if I mess with them I'll just end up making them worse. Plus I think the issue I had with these is that the pen was just a bit thick. If I had a small thin pen, that would have probably looked a lot better. Another thing you will also notice is the Nano Tank has now gone. So the Nano Tank, right, here we go. So basically with that I got it for free, and then I cleaned it up, tidied it up. It was on a stand which I'd also cleaned up and tidied up, wallpapered, etc. And that was all sat down by the tote and I had it up for sale. That never sold, so it basically ended up sitting in storage in the shed. But what I did with it, because the jewels kept having fry and eating them, on their third batch, as if you follow the channel then you'll already know, they basically had their third batch. I got that Nano Tank, set it all up, caught as many of the fry as I could and left, I think there was about 10 in there with them. They still ended up eating them, but unfortunately the fry that was in the Nano Tank didn't survive either. Don't know whether I took them out too young, whether they got sucked into the little drip filter that hangs on there or what, I don't know, but it never happened. So what I ended up doing then is I thought, right, okay, my mate's got a tank that he's got set up and ready. I took the jewels out, put them into the Nano Tank just to house them until obviously he was ready to have them and collect them and what have you. And then that freed up the 125. Now that he's had the jewels, I'll show you some footage of what I've done with the Nano Tank. It's up in the office and we're going to try and set it up as a shrimp tank. Alright, so a basic run through of what we've done here. We got a couple of rocks in the back, real plant at the back, and then I've put the big fake plant in the middle. We've got like the soil based substrate out the 5 foot for the real plant at the back, so see if that helps it at all. Then we've got a see-through lid on the top. We've got the filter at the back and a little heater. Try not to have it too warm because of it obviously being for shrimp. And I've just noticed I'm going to have to clean this rock out because it looks like the jewels had laid eggs again, but they've gone all fluffy, so I'm going to have to get that out. But we haven't got the shrimps yet anyway, but that is going to be the basis of it. We've never had a shrimp tank before. We've had shrimps in a tank. I had a couple of Armanos when I first started off and they lasted ages. We had some cherry shrimps in a tank which all died or got eaten or sucked into the filter. So this is going to be a nice new project for us. So what I'll do is I'll put a little video in here that Adam sent me, and that's of the jewels in their new tank, and they're having a nice little munch as well. I'm going to give a shout out to Big Fish Lad Paul. He's another YouTuber who I've been following on YouTube and on Instagram, and he's absolutely fantastic. He does more of the big American cichlids. He's got some massive tanks. He's got about 200 odd subscribers at the moment, but he's got over 1,000 followers or whatever on Instagram. So where I'm doing better on YouTube, he's doing better on Insta, but we're going to help each other out and give each other a shout out. So here is his channel. As you can see, what I've done, I've subscribed and I've hit the bell so I get his notifications. This is what he looks like. Big happy ginger lad, also from the UK. And this is just one of the clips from his latest video. Absolutely amazing 7-foot tank with all these big beautiful American cichlids in there. So don't be shy, just like you do for me, go and visit him, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't be shy to drop him a message. Like me, he will reply to you if you comment on the videos. So yeah, big shout out for Big Fish Lad. And while I'm on the subject of Big Fish Lad having more Instagram followers than me, why don't you check it out while you're there? There's links down below for obviously my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everything that I do Chris the Fish on, it's all on there. I think I'm at about 192 followers on there. But if you do like these videos, you do like the content, then Instagram will give you a heads up, because I post more on there more regularly than I do on here. Yes, a lot of the stuff that I put on there is in my YouTube videos, but Instagram, you get to see it first. So for everything, Chris the Fish 03, one word, because obviously you try and Google it any other way, you can't find it. But Chris the Fish 03, one word, just as you see there, and you'll find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the lot. You may also notice as well, other than the last couple of videos, it's a bit brighter in here. Now, as amazing as my idea was to have that colour changing bulb in and obviously use the remote for it, which I like, it's easy, it's convenient. The light switch is over by that metal man cave sign just about here. So of course, I come into the door, I've then got to walk all the way to the other side of the room in the dark to turn the light on. So what I've done, I've put the bright bulb back in so I can actually see what I'm doing, because it was still like a dull blue instead of a white, even on the white setting. So I'd like to be able to get back to having the remote control for the lights, because it's just a lot easier, considering I always use this door and the remote is just up by that Union jackpot, so it's about here. But for now, we'll just carry on with how we had it before. And yeah, as you say, you can actually see this ugliness again now. Much better. Right, so as a lot of you already know, I do rehoming projects around the fish cave and helping people out. So to start with, we're going to go to some footage where I managed to save a pair of Musk Turtles. Decent size, not as small as Dill for example, but we're going to go show that bit now. Alright, so here we have another Chris the Fish rescue, but this time we've got two Musk Turtles, quite decent size and all. So we're going to stick these in the tank. There's one, there's two, and then here they are. They got a fluvial Roma 125 to themselves. Yes, they'll probably need a bit more space, but even if this is just a temporary thing, you know, guys know what I'm like. If I can house it and look after it, it saves it going to somebody who won't look after them. Two beautiful musks. Right, so it seems that the turtles was alright. They were okay, I checked them over, they were healthy, but as I said before, in that size tank wasn't really suitable for them, especially since I had to put the rocks in so that they could get to the top. That kind of reduced the amount of space. But then I had a guy called Jason, shout out to Jason, who decided to contact me. He had a pair of Oscars that was in a musk tank and they were getting bullied, so he offered, do I want to swap? Well, that was asked and offered at the same time. But he said, do I want to swap for a pair of Oscars for my turtles? I says, yeah, okay. Like I said before, I want to make sure that they go into a decent home and they're going to be looked after, not just go into any Tom, Dick and Harry that's on Spock or whatever lately. So obviously went and picked up the Oscars, so now I'll show you some footage of that. Right, so them turtles, because they were too big for that tank, we moved them on. And the reason we moved them on is because the guy had 2 Oscars that was with some turtles, pretty beaten up and needed a new home, so I've swapped them over. So basically the rescue carries on, but it's just taken the more needed fish. So yeah, what I've done is I've rescued those turtles, but obviously they were too big for that tank. It was alright, it was only meant to be a temporary thing, but a guy contacted me, wanted some turtles. I was like, okay. He said, I've got some Oscars to swap. They're with turtles at the moment, but they're getting beaten up. Okay. So I've gone and done a swap. So the turtles have got a new home, so they got a bigger tank, other turtles. Now got a couple of big Oscars to kind of look after and try and treat back to health as well before I find them a new home. If I find them a new home, we'll see what happens. My God, they don't half make a bloody splash, but we've got them both in. So we're going to put some Fix in just to treat them for where the turtles have been attacking, and then I can try and assess them as well. Again, same with the turtles really, that this 125 is not sufficient for the 2 big Oscars, but as it's going to be like a hospital tank or whatever until we decide what's happening, it will be okay. It's just like in the pet shops, the tanks are small, they're well filtered, but at the same time it's only a temporary basis. Just because they're kept in a small tank in the shop doesn't mean you can do it at home. Right, so your update on the Oscars, as you can see, they're about 9 inches in size each, easy, and they are absolutely stunning. They wasn't as injured as I thought they might be. The Fix I've done for a couple of days, but they're not showing any signs of damage, wear, tear or anything like that. Just look like big grumpy gits. They keep pulling the tube out of my sponge filter, but at the same time, for now they're doing alright. I'm looking at trying to do some upgrades in here because I'm actually liking these guys. I've ordered some special pellets just for them, and I just want to keep them. We did have Oscars before, but I didn't have a tank to put them in because they were eating anything that went near them. These guys are pretty much the same. They'll eat anything that goes near them, so I'm not going to risk putting them with any of my other fish. But just look how amazing they are. Look at the colours on the front one especially. Giant adult tiger Oscars. Right, so if everybody does what they're supposed to be doing when you're in the fish keeping hobby, and that's always researching, then you'll know that with the Oscars, especially at this size, they need about 115 to 120 plus litres each. Now yes, that is a fluval Roma 125, so that's about say 120, so ideally I should only have 1 in there, but like I've said before, it's only a temporary basis and they're looked after, they're not getting attacked by the turtles, so the rehoming scheme is working in one way, if you know what I mean. So yeah, they're not being attacked, they're safe, they're happy. They haven't got as much room as I'd like them to have, but they've got enough room for now. Alright, so to wrap it all up, I've got 2 more projects out of the 5 from that last video to do, which is finish off the top for the sink still, and it's not a definite, but I still want to try and do the whole pipe work around all of these tanks, linking them all up so it goes straight outside. And then there's a few more ideas and projects in the pipeline as well, which always keeps you busy. I've always got something going on. I've got about 6 videos worth of ideas, like all jotted down, and how I want to do them and what I want to do and things like that, so keep an eye out for that. Again, if you make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell, then you'll get notifications every time I do post a video, and obviously I'll plaster it all over Facebook anyway, unless I get a 3-day ban for spamming. But for now, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you again for watching. As I say at the end of every video, you can say it along with me if you want. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.